Hello everyone, my name is Diane Hernandez, and for today I'm gonna do an interview about Transformers with my guest, Diana Itzel. Hello Dan, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for the opportunity, Diane.
Well, let's begin. How they were created.
First started with the toys made in Japan in the 80s by the Takara Toys Factory. Based on their biggest success, like Microman, Microchange, and Diaclone, they were robots that transformed into cars and ships. Uh, After being presented in a convention center in Japan, Hasbro joined Takara through an alliance with Marvel. The story of this franchise was created, so like Transformers.
Oh, it's really interesting knowing that Hasbro and Marvel create both of them the history. So now, which franchise had a crossover with Transformers?
There's lots of franchises. In fact, of course, since Hasbro has this alliance with Marvel, of course, it will be the Avengers, also G.I. Joe, Star Trek, Ghostbusters. The recent ones are My Little Pony and Angry Birds.
Oh, I still remember the My Little Pony one. That there's also Terminator one, no?
There's also Terminator, and in fact, with anime too, like Mazinger Z and Neo Genesis Evangelion.
Evangelion. Oh, okay. So now, which Transformers series do you know?
Well, of course, I know the Generation 1, that the first TV show that was released. I also know the animated Cyberverse, World of Sage, and Prime. Personally, my favorites are animated and Prime.
Oh, I also love Transformers Prime. So now, who are the few humans in the franchise that are loved by the fandom?
Well, it depends a lot on the series and movies. Because, for example, some people in the fandom really like characters like Sadu Sundan, Miko Nakadai, and Samuel Wiki. It's really because their characteristic personality, story, and on how their advancement as a character.
Which Transformers character do you like the most?
Well, my answer depends on because by having several versions of the characters in several versions of shows and movies, uh, they're not like the same personality because in the movies can be serious, but in TV shows can be lots of like funny. But I really like Prowl and Bumblebee from the animated series and Thundercracker from the EDW comics.
Okay, so now, uh, what was Optimus Prime's original name?
Well, here are two stories. The company he was created, he was originally known as Battle Convoy, while in the comics, his original name was Orion Pats, who worked on the planet Archives.
Okay, so Battle Convoy is still his name at Japan.
Yes, since that was their birthplace, in Japan he is still honored as Battle Convoy. And like, of course, internationally, he is known as Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime. Okay, so which Autobot and Decepticon were used as a base to create the badge of both factions?
The Autobot badge was based on Prowl, and the Decepticon badge was based on Soundwave.
Oh, Brawl and Soundwave. Okay. So, now for our last and most important question here. Which team are you? Team Autobot or Team Decepticon?
Well, of course, at first I was Team Autobot because since from watching the shows and watching the movies, we were shown who were the good guys, who were the bad guys. But over time, that perspective began to change completely. Of course, Decepticons did their bad things because that they were made to look. But over time, that line changed. In the comics, we were shown that they did all that because in their planet there were case systems. Of course, the Decepticons were on the lowest system, working as Minutemen and or gladiators, while in the high systems, they they were they have greatest things,
Ah,
money, uh, yes,
well, they
houses,
live better.
live better. Of course, the Decepticons never wanted, and Megatron decide to change that. But of course, the war started, and they didn't know who, who were right, who were wrong. So they made us really ask, who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? And so my answer, honestly, is that I am from a neutral team.
Okay, you're neutral. Well, well, that's all the questions. So, well, let's finish this. Goodbye, everyone.